everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I am planning for the first week of February in my passion planner, and we've been having a lot of snow the last couple days, and probably for the next few days we'll have some more. So I decided to kind of do a snowy theme this week in my planner. So I did pull my winter sticker book. This one has some wintry, snowy things, but it also has a lot of Christmas things in it. So I also pulled my Squad Goals sticker book because this one has a little bit more with just like snow and winter theme in it, in the seasonal section of that. So I have both of those. I have all 4 of my passion planner sticker books as well, because I'm thinking it would be cute to do like some hot chocolate or some books, or something for the snow days. If you are interested in any of the stickers from these books or the planner itself, they're from Passion Planner, and you can use my discount code AmberWade10 or the link in the description box to get 10% off your order at passionplanner.com. And what else? So I have those. I also have, as usual, my stickers, my random stickers that are like leftovers from different sheets and kits in my sticker book. And I also have my full sheets from Chelsea Brown Designs for my functional stickers. So let's go ahead and get started. I did not film last week because things have just been a little busy here, and I've been juggling a new planner, which I did a flip through of for you guys in my most recent video, and it's just been a little busy. So I didn't film last week, but last week I did a rainbow theme, which I really liked, and you can see that I still need to fill in Sunday there, but that's kind of what last week's spread looked like if you were interested. So again, this week I'm going to do more of like a wintry, snowy, snow day kind of theme. So the first thing I'm going to do to start is just start looking for the wintry stickers that stand out to me in these sticker books, and then I'm going to kind of use those to decide on a color theme. And just off the bat, I'm kind of thinking like a turquoise and purple because I really like these 2 stickers from the Squad Goals book. We can pull a purple to-do sticker, and let's see, these are all kind of Christmassy with the Christmas gifts, but there is a snow angel sticker. I'll pull that. I don't know if I'm gonna need that many full boxes, but we'll see. We'll pull some of these clear decorative stickers that are in the snow and some snowflakes if I can get it up off the page. So I'm just gonna grab like a bunch of these so that I can have some to pick from and fill in any empty spaces. And let's make sure I get another purple one too here. Oops, there we go. This one's kind of cute. I feel like this matches pretty well, and I do think I have way too many box stickers at this point, so I'm probably gonna have to pick and choose some. And I like this one too. So some of these are probably gonna go back. Let's see, so these are not the same color teal, which kind of stinks because I was hoping to get rid of some of those. These might work though. I think I'm gonna use, it bothers me that there's a back-to-back like repeat of the color there, but it kind of just is what it is. That's what I was left over with when I used those stickers. So it would be blue, teal, purple, blue, blue, teal, purple. I don't love that, but I might just use it because I do want to get some of these stickers used up. And then I would use this teal habit tracker. So it's really not, it's not the same color teal though, which bugs me. Like, it is kind of the correct color scheme. Let me see what other ones I have, just so I know. Like, I do have these purples, but they're pretty dark. That's too bright. The gray could work. Like, this would have been the ideal color, but I don't have any of those left. So I think I'm just going to suck it up and use those not quite exactly right color day of the week headers and just try not to stress about it. So we'll put these on here. Actually, I'm not going to bother laying on the wax paper because the cool thing about this little book is like these are kind of wax paper, so I don't have to worry about transferring it over. Do we want washi? I think we do. We definitely need to wipe these out for the snowflake washi. So let's go ahead and do that quickly. So I did my January reading wrap-up yesterday, which was the last day of January. And I am so excited that this month I read more books than I ever have in a single month. I got through 11 books and I'm very happy about that. One of my goals this year is to read more. And I do think that since I've gotten my Kindle, it's made it a lot easier because it just makes it so easy to have a book with you all the time. Sometimes depending on the size of the book or the format of the book, it can be a challenge to keep a book in my purse. If it's a very large book, or sometimes just, I don't know, like I almost forgot the washi. I don't like to get my books in like yucky condition. I like to keep them nice. So when I'm reading like a paperback or something, I hate putting it in my purse because I feel like it just gets so like gunky in there. Like it gets bent up or it gets stuff on it. What time is it? I need to make sure I'm doing okay on time here, which I'm fine right now. So yeah, having my Kindle has allowed me to always have a book with me. So rather than scrolling my phone when I'm waiting somewhere or, you know, just working through my lunch break, which is what I typically do, now I can just pull out my Kindle and read a chapter or two. And it definitely helps with getting more books read. And it's nice because, oops, that's not lined up at all. It's nice because there's a lot of places that have sales on like e-reading books, ebooks. And so you can get them for a lot cheaper than some of the print copies, which is nice. And then you can also connect it to your library card and use the Libby app to get books for free on your, well, to borrow books for free on your Kindle. So that has allowed me to access many more books. All right, I think I'm gonna use the thin washi to make this a little easy today. Let me talk about the books that I read in January. And I really want to start doing more with reading on my channel and on my Instagram, and I'm just trying to figure out right now the logistics, like if it's better to do that on this channel and kind of combine it and do planning and reading. Especially, I do think that they can be combined quite well. I mean, I have a reading planner that's a little crooked, but I'm hoping it gets covered by my day of the week header because I can't find my straight edge right now right in front of me. So yeah, I'm trying to just figure out like if I should combine and do reading and planning on this channel and the same Instagram, or if I should make a separate YouTube channel and Instagram specifically for reading. I don't know. I don't think I want to do that though, because I just think that the two topics are pretty, like, I think they could be combined pretty easily, and B, I love reading and I like to talk about books, but I don't think I'm like a great book reviewer or anything. So I don't know that my own channel just for books, I ripped that one, would be completely necessary, if that makes sense. Like, I like to talk about them, but I'm not like a literary genius or anything, so I don't know if people would actually be interested in having a full channel just with book reviews and book topics. So I'm leaning toward combining the two interests into this channel. Okay, so we have the top covered now. So yeah, let me pull out my reading list from January and I can go through the books that I read. And I did a flip through of this planner in another video if you're interested, but I love this planner so much. It's really fun. I've been printing out like the book covers and putting them in on the days I finish. So that's really fun to do. I have something paper clipped in here that's covering up my, no it's not. I thought it was covering that page that I need, but I need to glue this page in so I can get rid of that paper clip. Okay, so my January reading wrap up, the books that I read. I started out, I actually started the last day of December, but I finished in January. So I always count the book, I count the book in the month I finish it. So the first book was called Then She Was Gone. It was a thriller. It was definitely a page turner. I enjoyed reading it. It was interesting. I did like some of the twists and turns that it took, but I will say that I felt like it was a little bit unrealistic, and not that every thriller needs to be unrealistic, but I just think it was maybe a bit much, but there were definitely parts that creeped me out, and that's something that I think is important in a thriller, is to like actually make you feel a little creeped out or a little nervous or anxious. So I did appreciate that, and I did overall enjoy that book. The next book that I read, and this is where this is gonna bother me, because if this was blue and this was blue, I'd be fine, but both blues are on one page, so it's gonna bother me. But I'm just gonna try to let it go. I'm gonna try to not let my anxiety rule my planner. The next book I read in January was called Blind Spots. It was a really good book about the science behind like teaching and how we can improve our educational system. So it combined two topics that I'm passionate about, which is education and behavior analysis. I thought the book was really good for someone who maybe has a background in teaching but doesn't have a background in behavior analysis. It was a little, as someone who has studied behavior analysis, there wasn't a lot of information in it that was brand new to me, but I did think it was a really good overview of it for someone who maybe doesn't have experience in that area, and it definitely brought to light a very important issue, or many very important issues in our education system. So I think it was an important book, and so for that reason I gave it 5 stars. The next book I read, well, this one I actually listened to, was Anxious People by Fredrik Backman, and it was really good. I did feel like a little bit, oh, that's a lot larger than I expected it to be. I did feel like it was a little bit slower in the middle. Like it kind of hit a point where I was like, okay, like let's move on with this story. But overall, I thought it was really good. Fredrik Backman is really good at characters and details about characters, and it was enjoyable to listen to. And the narrator of that book, I can't remember which version, it was the Audible version that I listened to, and the narrator is incredible. Like she does great voices for the characters. It was just really entertaining to listen to. The next book I read was Big Summer, and it was okay. It was an entertaining read. It was fairly light. I didn't expect it to be like earth-shattering or anything. It wasn't my favorite book by that author. I've read a lot of other books by her, and I think that she's had other books that were better, but overall it wasn't bad at all. It was entertaining. The one thing I didn't like about it was I felt like it just wrapped up too soon. I remember thinking when I was reading it on my Kindle, at one point it said that I was 90% of the way through the book, and I just thought, how is she going to wrap this up in the last 10% of this book? And she did, but I just think it was too fast. I think that it was a very abrupt, like, kind of resolution, and I just wish that it was taken a little slower for the wrap up, I guess. So that was how I felt about Big Summer. Again, it was an entertaining read. If you need a book or you want a book that's just a little bit like fun to read and doesn't make you work your brain too hard, it is a good one. Let me get a sip of water because my mouth is getting dry. The next book I read was The Hate U Give, and it was really good. It was, I don't want to give too many details because I hate to do spoilers, but it was a really good book. I think it should be like a required reading for high school kids. I think it was a really good perspective as someone who is white to read that book from the perspective of a person of color. So I'm not going to say a ton about it because I don't want to give away a lot, but I think you should read it. If you haven't read it, you should read it. It was one of my favorite reads this month. Next was Salt, Sugar, Fat, and that was an audiobook that I listened to, and it was all about how the food industry like kind of manipulates us because they purposely engineer foods that make us eat more so that they can sell more, and about how they work these different ingredients into the foods we eat for the sole purpose of making them like kind of addictive in a way where you just want to eat more, or like they intentionally create a food that makes you hungrier so that you'll eat more of it. So it was just interesting to read it and kind of hear the perspective of what's going on behind the scenes with our food. So I would recommend that one. It was, obviously a little drier since it's a nonfiction book, and but it was good. So if you're interested in that, it was a good one to read. The next one I read was The Couple Next Door, and this was another thriller that I liked, but I wasn't like overly enthused about because it was good, but again, it just didn't feel like, it just felt like they were trying to work every possible twist and turn they could into the story, to the degree that it just wasn't super believable. So I liked it, but it wasn't like fabulous or anything. It was just okay. I wouldn't say it was just okay. It was good. It just wasn't, they just tried to do too much, I think, in one book. Next was A Man Called Ove. Again, I listened to this one on audiobook. This one I actually borrowed from Libby, so the narrator isn't the same as if you listen on Audible, but I have heard the Audible narrator is good as well. But I loved A Man Called Ove. It was, again, probably tied with The Hate U Give for my favorite book that I read this month. It was just so enjoyable. I love Ove so much. I loved him before they even started like sharing his background, but once you start to learn his history and his life, I think you fall even more in love with him. And it was just a book that like takes you through all the emotions. Like, I laughed, I cried, I smiled, and it was just a really nice way. Like when I would listen to it on my way into work in the morning, I felt like it was a really nice way to start my day off each day. So that was A Man Called Ove. Highly recommend that one, especially if you like audiobooks. I highly recommend listening to it. Yeah, just very good. Next book I read was The Perfect Nanny, and another thriller that I didn't love. I gave this one of the lowest ratings this month of any book because this says Welcome Winter. It's not really Welcome Winter. Winter already started. The Perfect Nanny, it starts really abruptly and then goes really, really slowly through a lot of it, and it just wasn't, I think I just wanted more detail about the motivation behind the crime that was committed, but instead it was more of like a character study of this nanny, and it just wasn't really, it wasn't really for me. It was well written. Like, I don't want to say that it was a bad book. It just wasn't my style. That one doesn't match. Maybe we'll take this one, Frosty Mornings and Toasty Blankets. Although, I'm kind of wishing, like, yeah, we'll do that. But I still have this teal winter vibes sticker, and I don't think it really, oh, I kind of did all my layering on this page, and I wish I didn't. I might move this if I can. Let's see if it comes up. But yeah, so The Perfect Nanny, and again, it was one of those ones that, like, it starts out really fast. It kind of starts out with telling you the ending, and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I can't believe that's what happens. I want to read more to find out how that happened. But then you read more and you really don't find out totally how that happened. Like, there was a lot that was implied about it, which is fine. But again, it just didn't go into detail in the way that I would have wanted it to. So, and then the ending, again, like, it just wraps up really fast, and you just think, like, okay, like, that was it. What happened? So I didn't love The Perfect Nanny. You might love it. Again, it's nothing against the writer. It just wasn't my style. And then the next book I read was The Dating Plan. I joined Book of the Month Club in January, which has been really enjoyable because I just picked out my February books too. It's a lot of fun. I'll link in the description box to my referral for Book of the Month. If you use my referral, you get your first book for $5. They're hardcover books, and they're really nice, like, quality books. So you'll get a $5 hardcover book, and they're most of their books are, like, really like, popular, like, newer books, and there's just a lot of ways to, like, kind of figure out on the website what book you should get that's going to be very enjoyable for you. So I did appreciate that aspect of the program. But anyways, The Dating Plan is one that I picked up, and it was kind of a whim, like, I'll give it that. It's I didn't put a lot of thought into it. It just looked like a cute book that would be, like, a light entertaining read, because sometimes I just need a light entertaining read after I read a bunch of thrillers or nonfiction books or heavier books. So I picked that one, and I sadly just didn't love it. I wanted to love it, and there were definitely things about it that were cute, but it just wasn't for me. There were things about it I didn't like with the writing. Like, there were a lot of repetitions on some of the phrases that the characters would say. And one of my, like, I have a big pet peeve when I read a book and there's a lot of dialogue, but it's not at all how people actually talk. So when dialogue doesn't seem realistic or characters don't seem authentic, it really bothers me. So that was kind of what I didn't like about that book. Again, the story in general was cute. If you love the, like, fake dating idea, like, you might like it. I just didn't personally love that book. And then the last one that I just finished on the last day of January was an audiobook, and it was Ready Player One. I didn't think I was gonna love it. Checked it out on Libby. I mean, you can't really lose on Libby because you're getting it for free. So if you hate it, you can just not finish it and you're not losing any money. So I saw it on there, and I'd heard it mentioned before in some book groups I'm in and stuff, and I decided to borrow it from the library, and it was really good. It's a science fiction book, which is not typically my cup of tea. I generally shy away from science fiction, fantasy, that kind of stuff, just because it's just not what I'm super interested in reading. But it was a good book. It was interesting. I wanted to hear more. It had a lot of 80s references, which was kind of fun. If you were a kid of the 80s or 90s, it was fun to hear a lot of those references, which I have heard an I have heard some people complain that it's like relies too much on the references to make people like it, but I don't really care. It was fun and I did like it, even if it was a lot for the references. That doesn't bother me. But the main character is likable. There's a little bit of a side story with romance in it. Yeah, it was just a good book, and so I was excited to read something that's out of my usual comfort zone, and I didn't realize it when I picked it up, but it is actually, it was made into a movie, so I think I'm gonna check that out and watch it with my husband and see how it compares to the book and see if I like it as much as I liked the book. So those were my January books that I read. I'm really excited that I got through so many books this month. I really didn't expect to get through that many, but it's definitely helped, like I said, having a Kindle. And then the other thing that helps if you are trying to read more books is to also do audiobooks if you can. When I first started doing audiobooks, I only really listened to nonfiction because I found it a little bit easier. It was a little bit more similar to like a podcast, so it was easier to keep my attention. But once I was used to that format, I started to listen to more fiction books, and as long as there's a good narrator, like I think that's the key for me at least to keeping my attention, is making sure that the narration is good and able to draw me in and keep my focus. And I forgot to mention that Ready Player One was narrated by Will Wheaton, which was kind of fun. He was a good narrator for that book. And yeah, I think that's it. That's it for my reading wrap up. I'm gonna pop that last sticker on there. And the last thing I need to do is just fill in the dates at the top. So let me go ahead and do that. I have a lot of birthdays and things coming up this month for people that I need to organize and figure out what the heck I am getting for them. That's probably part of what will be in my planner this week, is just figuring out all of those details. All right, so that is it. Let me zoom in just a little bit there for you. That's it. I hope that you are all staying inside and staying nice and warm in the snowy weather if you are in the area that's getting snow right now. If you like this, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Check out the referral links in the description box if you're interested in any of the items that I mentioned in this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye!